Welcome to We Rated X, the show where we rate stuff. Today we'll be rating an amazing racing title, TT Isle of Man. And to help me do this will be whatever the fuck is going on here. Babe, please, I can't rate the show with you dressed like this.
Well, is this too much? Is this a bit much? Is that better?
Much better, thank you very much. I actually feel like I'm talking to a human.
You're so very welcome. As you guys may know, I love motorcycles. I love everything about them. It's just everything's so cool. The way they smell, the way they feel, rushing through traffic and people literally going out of their way to kill you. That's awesome. People's grandmothers as well pulling up next to you,
trying to race you,
trying to dice me. Fuck out of here, grandma. You know, that's amazing. So that's why it was like very, very difficult to try and find a gaming experience that came close to even replicating that feeling. Until I found TT Isle of Man.
The siren of the Irish Sea. For the brave, for the fearless, for the bold, seeking out their destiny.
And that's what we're going to be rating today. There's two versions of this game. Obviously, TT Isle of Man, a ride on the Age 1. And then last year, I think they released TT Isle of Man 2. We're going to be looking at the first edition of this game.
And the first thing that we're going to be looking at, as far as rating TT Isle of Man, is just a world creation. And for you non-gamers like me, I'm just gonna break that down a little bit as to what that means. So when we talk about world creation, we're speaking about like how the world of the game has been brought to life. So we're talking about the graphics, we're talking about the sound, we're just talking about like how visually and sonically you experience the game as the player.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. Absolutely. And then as far as world creation is concerned, I'm gonna like there's three kind of areas for me specifically for this title. Graphics, lighting effects, which is slightly different from graphics.
Yeah.
And then just the way the game sounds. And on all three scores, all three counts, it's phenomenal. The only weakness I think that this game has is that there's a cartoonishness about the way the actual rider, if you're in the third person view and you're looking at the rider,
how they interact with the machine.
They just look a little bit like flimsy, like, you know, it's like every rider looks like Urkel.
Every rider looks like, I can take you, bro.
Yeah, I
could fight you and win.
So I mean that brings down the average in terms of world creation, but everything, the lighting, the way, like the detail behind how you move through different areas of different kinds of shadows, it's all very impressive. But the most impressive part of the world creation is the sound.
Would you say that it sounds exactly like your motorbike?
Well, if I owned, you know, a racing class S1000 RR, yes, it would.
No, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, as a like an actual rider with an actual motorbike, would you say that they're like pretty much like on par?
They've gone out of their way to do exactly that. You know, to replicate the different way these machines sound. So all the BMWs sound like BMWs that have been souped up, obviously.
That's incredible.
And all the Japanese motorcycles sound like they've got a different pitching, you know, to the BMWs, that they've gone out of their way. That's why I think that they've kind of compromised the range of motorcycles. There's only about 38 that you can choose from.
I mean, isn't that a lot of motorcycles to choose from, or is it just like, is it a few motorcycles in relation to how many motorcycles there usually are on this kind of game?
Yeah, I mean, if you played like Forza 4, you can choose like 300 different types of cars. But
I guess I would prefer like choosing between 38 motorcycles if they are really like well considered as far as design,
you know, when you marry, guys, when you marry, absolutely. That's why I really enjoyed that part about it. I didn't miss all the 300.
The craftsmanship is really important to the full experience.
Of course it is.
So you'd rather have like 38 well-made things than
correct. Yeah, and then there's a couple of throwbacks there, and then they sound true to their time.
They have vintage motorbikes.
One or two. It's
That's
not
incredible.
like one or two. You can unlock one or two, but the main, the ones that you race with are your kind of like boy racer ones. So I jump on every time I play on the S1000R, double R, and it's been souped up, and it sounds the way
a souped up motorcycle should sound.
Yeah.
Cool. So what would you rate like
World creation
overall?
9 out of 10.
Nice.
Yes.
That's pretty nice. I should give that game a try.
Yeah. It would frustrate you though.
Which brings me to the next point. This is not really like rating criteria, but I have heard a few people, when they talk about this game, talk about like how just difficult it is to like get to the next level. Like, what's your take on that? Do you find it extremely difficult like other people do?
Oh no, I cried the first time I played this. I wept like a newborn child.
That is hilarious. So then why do you play it then? Why do you keep playing?
Because why do I ride a motorcycle? Can I just be honest,
why do you ride a motorcycle?
Everyone who rides a motorcycle who tells their partners or friends or family that like it's a convenient way to travel.
No, it's like, no.
It's lying.
You just like the feeling of like, oh my god, I could die right now.
Yeah, there's nothing convenient about riding a motorcycle. Nothing whatsoever. There's nothing convenient about having a helmet everywhere you go. It's just nothing, but it's awesome being on it. It's much like this game, right? It's not built for convenience. It's not built for you to feel good about yourself. It's
built for fun. Maybe it's just fucking fun, and that's okay.
But it's a specific kind of fun. So you are absolutely right. But it's a very specific kind of fun.
It's that I might die, but this is fun.
No, it's not even that. So other racing titles have got a little bit of that in there. If you like, especially car titles, it's you're racing against other people. You're always beating the clock, and it's got that element here. But here where TT Isle of Man Ride on the Edge is a little bit different because of how it works in the real world. The races leave at different intervals, so they don't all start at the same place. Like there's no pole position. Like it's a different kind of race. So for a lot of that race.
So are you like what? Then what's the point? Are you racing against the time versus racing?
So you're racing against time, but more importantly, from a gamer's perspective, you're mastering each corner. You're mastering each straight, trying to get your lines right, and that's what makes the gameplay so difficult. You kind of have to memorize a 38-mile track, corner by corner. That can take a month. Before you're comfortable on the track, and that you haven't even tried
raced.
Race. No, you're basically just trying to hang on to the bike. And it's unwieldy. These things and you feel that sense of speed, much like on a motorcycle. 300 odd kilometers an hour, braking suddenly to 90 in order to slow look, press and roll into a corner, get out of it at the right speed, at the right gear. That's the fun. It's a finicky kind of fun.
So we've spoken a lot about like how finicky it is and how fun it is and the different things that you have to conquer. So I think the next thing that we should be rating actually logically is the gameplay. How did you find the gameplay?
Look, I'm not gonna lie, at times this game handles like the way you would imagine, I don't know, like wielding a chainsaw. Would be, because it's like the steering you don't get used to. It's a little bit sticky at times, and then suddenly it breaks out of that stickiness into unwieldiness. So it's tough to wrap your head around.
I imagine it's like a witch on a broom. I'm joking.
Why?
Because they're always falling off them shits.
I love how you just. That's the thing you have ready available in your mental mind, which is.
It's because earlier I was talking to Noah about like all this woo-woo shit and like witches and whatever, but they are constantly falling off their brooms. So
that's so deep. I want to hear more about that. By the way,
I will catch you up.
Fascinating. No, gameplay, I mean, I'd give it a 8. Simply because, I mean, you should score lower technically. They programmed that gameplay specifically for that kind of experience, a very highly technical experience. You have to kind of lock yourself in a room and try to understand the game. Unwieldy as it is, it must be conquered.
So I think the next thing we should rate, or at least talk about, is just like how true to life this game is, because I know like a large part of why you've gone back to like actually playing this game is because we are now under lockdown, and obviously you can't just like jump on your bike and ride for like an hour like you could, you know, before lockdown. So how true to life is this game? Like, is it like scratching that like itch for you, or
no? The short answer short answer is no. It's so sad. There's nothing quite like riding. Even going downstairs to chill out that motorcycle.
Story time. Guys, this man is so like thirsty for the open road and his bike that one day I actually realized that when he takes, so he does this thing where he takes our car keys and he'll take his motorbike key and he'll say, okay babe, I'm just going downstairs to the basement for a bit just to rev our engines, just so our cars don't like, you know, our batteries don't go flat, and then our cars, you know, like then we have another issue, so let me just do this. He'll do this like maybe every second or third day.
Don't you enjoy how I tell you that story every single time?
Little did I know that the reason why this man insists on telling me that story each time is because he actually starts his bike, gets on his bike, and rides his bike around the basement, scaring all the neighbors, all the security guards, all the dogs, all the kids, with just the sheer sound of that machine. So
yeah.
Cyril, unlock us.
Unlock us.
It's
the sad thing about it is
times.
the sad thing about it is it doesn't even work. The thing I'm doing, it's like
because you have to go so slow.
I have to go so slow. It's like I could, you know, very easily kill myself and others in that basement.
Exactly, and there's hella old people in this complex.
Well, some of those old people actually have it coming. Like, so yeah, in as far as scratching that itch is concerned, there's nothing like riding. There's nothing like riding, and rating how true to life it is in terms of being able to scratch my itch, a nice 2. Yeah, it's a 2. We give it a 2. Even though I went into this kind of gaming world trying to scratch an itch, I realized that there will be nothing that
replaces it.
But I found myself a fantastic title.
This was really awesome. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much because I know very little about gaming and motorbikes and whatever. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for...
Well, you've seen people fall off brooms, so...
Let's do the overall score. It will be over there. So join us next time for another episode where we rate something else.
We'll rate stuff.
Bye.
Peace.